Yes. Number 2. You gotta leave early. I got it for you. And then.
Your arm was hiding.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I'm in there. Yeah. It's so cold. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to close the meeting. Nate?
Present.
John?
Here.
John?
Here.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion for consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion of a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Public input, this is time and place for items. Discussion of items not already on the agenda with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Discussion possible action in reference to approving downtown reinvestment rebate payment to Indulgence Salon. So this is for $4,853.46. This is reference to previous grant that you guys approved. The work has been completed, and Historic Preservation approved it at their meeting last Thursday. Motion to approve. Motion to a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion of possible action in reference to Downtown Reinvestment Grant application. This is a new application that we received from Bill's Tap. Total project cost is $19,013.37. Maximum grant award is $5,000 for interior work. And this is going to be for the upstairs apartment, put bathroom, kitchen, new shower, vanity, new flooring, new lights, touch up drywall and paint. Kitchen will get gutted, new ceiling. This did go to Historic Preservation. They met on it and they approved it for $5,000 on Thursday. And if you were to award this, there would still be just over $10,000 remaining in this year's $20,000 allocation, and I do not have any other applications at this time. It also is going to have all new plumbing from basically the bar to the main put in.
Okay. Move to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ambulance annual report.
Hey, should be in the packet.
Yep. Any questions about it? Read, look through it? I looked through it. I did have one question.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna get to it.
Okay, okay.
They didn't tell me who they were, so I removed them.
What's that?
The person
Okay,
from
so
the
the
chat.
missed calls,
7-Eleven. What's tier and transfer? I understand transfer, what's tier?
Tier is where we go and hop in with somebody else that doesn't have a paramedic. So primarily it would be like Mechanicsville, Stanwood, Clarence, and Tifton ambulance. Every once in a while we'll get a Jones County agency, Olin, Monticello, or Anamosa. But we just provide that paramedic level service that they may not have.
Any questions for you? Discussion possible action in reference to moving city legal services to a different law firm.
All right, as you guys are aware, at the end of last year, Mark Parmenter had retired from Letter, Weston, and Craig, and our new city attorney would be Jim Craig, who was city attorney well back when I started, way back in time. But Jim has now submitted his retirement, so he's going to be retiring shortly. So there's a couple things we have going with a nuisance and such that Meredith Chapel at Ladder Weston Craig is working with. However, going forward, she is only part-time, and they are also getting rid of the other cities. So for us to stay on there, it's not beneficial for them to have one attorney stay up to date with all the city stuff. So they have requested and reached out to Dallas Lynch, the Amy Reasoner, Maddie Huntzinger, and Patrick O'Connell. As you can see in the packet, there's a letter from them and a proposal. This is in line with what we currently do now. You can see all the cities that they have. One of the big pluses with this would be Mount Vernon. As you're aware, or maybe some of you aren't aware, Dave Scheckinger from B&K is also the engineer over the firm over in Mount Vernon. There's a lot of times when we have different projects and such that get close to the border, we have to confer back and forth. Sometimes we get both attorneys involved. It'd be nice to have a one-stop shop with this where we just reach out and save a little money that direction as well. I think it would also make things a little more seamless with the police department. Obviously, they're represented by Dallas Lynch. And I know that at the League of Cities and my insurance risk management, they're always the attorneys that are there giving their presentation. So I think they're highly regarded and probably one of the main law firms for cities, at least eastern Iowa, if not all over the state. I don't know if you read through the packet. It's got basically their information. They're willing to bring us on, and I think it'd be a good opportunity for the city.
Is that basically what we're paying right now?
Pretty close, yeah.
Any questions?
Do we have to pay, I'm just trying to, do we pay like a retainer fee, or do we just pay when we need them?
Just pay when we need them.
We're just on standby till we need them, and then it doesn't cost us anything if we don't.
Right. You'll see on the bills, sometimes there's like 0.3 hours for like an email or whatever. They basically, for whatever you use them for, that's what they bill for.
Okay.
Any questions? Any motion to move city legal services?
So moved.
Your motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 07-2026, employee certification wage increase.
This is for Jake Siggins. He passed his water treatment, distribution. Sorry, I get confused. Distribution. And he is now moving on to the wastewater. This is what we said in his past reviews we wanted him to do, and he's getting them banged out for us. So.
Didn't you just do one?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, which one was that one?
Treatment.
Treatment.
So there's one more for grade 1, he'll have water and wastewater, and then he can move to grade 2.
Very good.
Motion to approve the resolution.
The motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Resolution 08-2026, fire department members.
This is 4 fire department members, Jamie Moore, Ted Harapat, Evan Coleman, and Nikki Sporer. Jamie and Ted and Evan will be probationary full-time fire department members, and Nikki is going to be joining us as EMS only. 3 of the 4 of those would be, well, Ted has experience out west. He just moved to town recently. But Jamie and Evan are young, just out of high school, and that's a good thing for us to get younger people on. So we had some recent retirements that I mentioned in the last meeting, and some people that stepped down just because of time constraints. So I'd recommend, and the fire department recommends, adding these 4 as probationary members.
Move to approve.
Motion with a second.
Second.
Kevin.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Me.
Aye.
Set public hearing for budget statement for March 23rd at 6:45.
So this is that meeting where we have to approve the budget statement, have a public hearing for any of the public to come in, and this is where we can't talk about other city business. You notice they did shrink the time from a half hour down to 15 minutes, so that's going to be the March 23rd meeting at 6:45, and we'll send out reminders to you, and then we'll start the regular council meeting at 7.
Motion to start first set public hearing.
Motion to set it for the 23rd at 6:45 PM.
Motion, have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Set public hearing for engineer report for the preliminary plat for the city of Lisbon EMS district for March 23rd, 2026.
We previously had this for March 9th, but due to the Iowa code, we need to have 2 postings in 2 consecutive newspaper circlings. So due to having 2 of them posted, we would not make the timeline to have it on the 9th. So we're going to move this to the 23rd. It's already headed to the paper. Should be coming out this week for the first one, and then next week it'll be the second one. And then we'll go ahead with the public hearing on the 23rd. So we just need a motion to set it for then instead of the 9th.
Okay, we got 23rd. When's this looking at going to city vote?
July now?
Yeah, there's a possibility that we could do it last Tuesday in April, but it's likely going to be July 7th. So coordinating 4 different municipalities has been a bit of a challenge.
Got a motion to set public hearing.
So moved.
Got a motion, have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Correspondence?
Nothing today.
City engineer report?
I don't have anything for them tonight.
Public works?
First, Raleigh asked about the sidewalk where Alliant did some work. I got a hold of Alliant, they've got that filled, and they're gonna keep a better eye on it. And as soon as the frost breaks, they say they know it's done, they'll have concrete back there. We did make a round through the town with cold patch. Once weather changes again, we'll go back around and do that. All of our radio reads are now up. We've spaced them out so that when they do start to warranty out or phase out, it won't be the city having to replace them all at one time. They'll be able to just a few here and there. We're down to 8 left that we physically got to read, and 4 of those 8 and it's going to take some time, so we're waiting for the residents to move out. We're working with landlords. Once they move out and there's a switch, we can get in there and get those done. The other ones are probably ones we'll never change out, like obviously the line energy is one of them. I mean, to change the meter out just so we don't have to walk in a building or they can't take a picture and send it to us seems kind of foolish for the amount of money.
How many years did you spread the installation
About
across?
5.
5 years?
Yeah. With that, so we did hang our last roundabouts. I don't know if you saw that on Facebook when we posted it. We hung our last rounds. With that, we had some audits that I worked with Christina and Bree on, trying to clean up some stuff. So hopefully it gets easier and easier in the near future for us. They started to build the tool racking for the old fire truck we're repurposing to hold generators, ladders, and that. Hoping to have that completed by next council meeting. Had some hydraulic leaks that popped up on the dump truck. We got those fixed. And lastly, we had a list from the library where we built corner shelves, put a utility door on for an access panel, patched holes in the walls, moved some stuff for them, and cleaned out the cases in Heritage Hall and fixed the crash bar on the emergency door up there. The only thing we have left in her list would be the new fireplace they want installed, and we're hoping to have that completed. If she gets that tomorrow, like she thought, here in the next week or two. That's it. You have any questions?
Radio reads, so you got, you got them all installed. How many do you have then when they start breaking down? How do you replace them?
So we keep a case of the radios and roughly a case of the meters on hand. And that's generally all you gotta have for stuff that, for budgetary wise, that's all we do. And occasionally you'll have more go than that, but not very often. And obviously if we have any development going, we'll have to pull more on hand.
Anything for Travis? Parks and Rec?
Boys basketball wrapped up just a couple weeks ago, so we had a very successful girls and boys basketball programs. The next sport we will offer is spring soccer. We started registrations a couple weeks ago. That deadline will be March 6th, so coming up here soon. The only other things I have is I scheduled a field cleanup. We do this every year, get the leaves, trash, sticks, all that stuff picked up on the baseball and softball fields, so that's scheduled for March 7th from 9 to 11. If we run into weather issues, we're going to push it back to the following Saturday. So all the teams in town will be involved with that. I've already had quite a few reach out that are planning to attend, so we've got good numbers already. And then myself and my board are working to plan our yearly Easter event, which will be on April 4th at 11:30 at the city park. So there'll be info coming out on social media about that very soon.
Why's the fence up all year?
So, since we don't play any sports over there anymore, I told them that they could leave it up. Brandon and I have had conversations now because obviously, yes, there are leaves that are around that fence. So what I am doing is talking with the school, and if they want to leave it up year-round, they're going to have to come in the fall and do some leaf pickup and stuff like that. Otherwise, I think we'll probably just have to do what we've done in the past and have them take it down every year. So that's, again, is why Brandon and I have talked about this, Travis too. This is why my spring cleanup's usually not until April, but I did it earlier this year. That way we can get out there and get all that cleaned up. That way the grass can establish and grow where those piles of leaves are at. So it's a lot earlier this year, and that's the reason we did that.
Anything for Drayton? Police Department?
You guys should all have your packet this time. Any questions there? If not, got Officer Mackey in the academy doing good things. He's an officer, class officer, so he's doing well there. Had a couple other incidents and press releases last week. One of them was a conviction of a major drug investigation that started here in Lisbon. So our officers did great work working through that, and to see a good outcome was refreshing.
Doing anything for Jason? Library? Oh, sorry, ambulance.
Just kind of working on getting ready for our inspection set for March 25th. We do have some informational sessions coming up to kind of talk about the tax district for the ambulance service. Our first one being at Whitey's on the 25th of February, and then a couple more in March. We'll have those. I think they already ran in the paper, but we'll have a little bit more information coming out on that. So I'd encourage folks to attend if they have any questions. Otherwise, I'm in San Antonio next week for a training that started in January. So it's a 16-week course. I'm excited to get into the warm weather for a little bit and see what I can learn.
What time is the YV's meeting?
I believe it's 5 o'clock. And then there's one down at the Sutliff Tavern. I think that one's March 10th. That will be at 6 o'clock. Sorry, Sutliff is, the 10th. And then the 25th of March, we'll be having an open house or a session at our station. So trying to give people plenty of opportunity to get out and ask questions and learn about the needs. So.
Anybody else any questions? Okay.
Nothing for tonight.
Fire chief.
As you can see, as you approved tonight, we have the new applicants. We're going to be starting to get them up to par on training. So we'll be starting that as soon as next month. We've had a high number of grass fires already this year. Obviously, the snows helped with that this week, but with the abnormally dry conditions, that's going to continue to be a problem for us. So I just ask the citizens and residents to be conscious of what they're doing, the weather conditions. If you need assistance, like I said, we have these new people on. It's good training. I would rather do it on our time than run lights and sirens out there and risk more property damage and whatnot. So right now, Cedar County is under a burn ban. Lynn County's was lifted. So just monitor that. I try to keep the sign updated out front with that information. So just ask for a little help there from the public. St. Patrick's Day fundraiser dance is going to be March 14th out at Tin Roof from 8 p.m. to midnight. There'll be a band. This year they're fundraising for the new truck, the supplies that go in it, as well as a new air pack. The air pack's around $9,000, so that's what we're fundraising for this year. And then there's been some questions about the noon whistle. We have a siren box that's on order to replace the one that's in the radio room. It does work. However, it was sending some errant messages due to the encoder basically fizzling out. So I've unplugged it. It can be used for storms, so in the event we do have severe weather, it will be working. But in the meantime, instead of just having a mind of its own and blowing the whistle whenever I wanted to, I decided to unplug it. So we'll have that back up and running. They're supposed to be here the first week of March. So that's all I have fire department related.
Okay. Questions? City Administrator.
Christina and I will finish up the budget hopefully tomorrow, and then we can submit the statement to the paper and get all that ready, so everything will be done there. Been working with the city attorney and Lynn County Building Division in reference to a couple of ongoing nuisances, 306 North Jackson Street. Probably headed to court on that one. And then 414 West Main went through a sheriff's sale and has new owners. We met with them and we did placard it due to some people breaking into the residence and attempting to sleep there. So, and I believe police department was involved with that as well. And as of today, I think they did a walkthrough and they boarded the windows and doors. So hopefully that won't be an issue. That residence is going to come down, and they're looking to put in 2 houses one on each lot there. So that'll be moving that direction as we go here. I've been working with John's Electric and Travis and EMC Insurance referenced the claim for the power surge a few weeks back down at the sewer plant. Still working through that. As we mentioned earlier, Downtown Reinvestment, there's still some money there available this fiscal year, and we do have $20,000 budgeted for next year. So if there's any downtown businesses that are looking to invest in their property, please contact City Hall or go to our website for that information. And also, we have not received anything for the Lisbon Grant. And what that is to promote your business. So a lot of people buy signs or things like that to promote a business, and that's for any business in town. So it's a $5,000 grant, so it's something small. So we have plenty of time to make that happen if you can get paperwork turned in. So just wanted to bring that up. As you're aware, Bree, we talked last time, she's doing great. Today was her first day printing water bills. We're making a lot of progress on reports and trying to eliminate a lot of the no reads and high reads and try to get more organized with that stuff. So everything's going great. And last but not least, I just wanted to bring up to your attention, we have an ordinance that requires you to license your dog in town. We make about, it's $5 per license for 3 years per dog. We make about $200 to $255 a year. That gets spread out. So it's roughly 41 dogs a year that get registered. There's obviously far more dogs that are in town than that get registered. So I'm just looking for a little help. My personal opinion is, I talked to Chief Blinks, I don't know that it's worth our time and resources to continue this process. I think we could take the information that's in the Iowa Code about having your dog have a rabies vaccine after 4 months old, just put it in the code, and not have this license process. The vast majority of the times when we have dog bites or loose dogs, very seldom are those dogs registered. Usually they're the ones that aren't complying. Not all the time, but usually that's the case. So we get calls all the time from residents that aren't happy with receiving the courtesy notices. We tried that a couple years ago, and we've been doing that for dog tags, golf carts, and rabies, but the animals seem to be our biggest problem with that when people aren't happy with that. Either one, there's sometimes where the animal has passed away, obviously unbeknownst to us, and then they call upset that we're sending them wanting to register an animal that's not here. And then we've had them call for, they've been divorced and the other half of the divorce took the dog, so that just opens more rooms there. I just don't know that we're getting the benefit, and I wasn't here when this started. We did reach out to some other communities. I don't know, it's probably 60-40 who do it and who don't. We did see that Monticello recently, due to the same reasons I'm mentioning, they no longer require the dog tags. Some cities do it, but obviously they get more money for it. And I just think that my opinion and what I can tell from experience is the people that follow the rules are the people we don't have the issues for, which I feel is the reason why we do this, is to try to get everybody to get compliance, and we're not getting that. And I don't know how to do that. I'm just looking for input on a better process, and if you guys don't have an issue with that, I can certainly go and get the ordinances, get it to the city attorney, make sure we have everything covered, but I didn't want to go to that work if you guys thought that you were adamant that we continue licensing dogs, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
What's the penalty for not registering your dog? Let's say your dog bites somebody and, the police get involved or whatever, and the dog hasn't been registered ever.
So typically, we tell them to come down and register the dog, is what the police department does. There's usually not a ticket.
So have we ever written a ticket?
I don't think we've ever written it. Obviously, over time, we tell them, hey, I don't think it's ever advanced to that because it's $5, so everybody gets down because of it.
I think we had one court case, and the person tried to fight it and lost.
Okay. So, I don't know.
If the dog bites somebody, the dog's going to be removed from city limits. Yeah. We have 0 tolerance on that.
Right.
Yeah, not all will stay. Like I said, we just input the information from the code that, your dog has to be rabies, after 4 months old, and whatever that section is, that would just go into there. But
So you're just basically eliminating the licensing at the city.
Right.
I mean, if a dog bites somebody, it's
Well,
still
that was a bad example.
It's still.
Dogs found on the loose. A dog at large gets snagged by the police. Do we write the owner citation?
Well,
Nothing
so
ever
the
happened.
issue with the dog loose is our code, which this could be something we could look into as well. But I believe our code says you knowingly let the dog loose. So if the dog gets out, am I right with that? I think we had a case with this where you have to knowingly know that the dog was out. So before you can write a ticket, and I think we had that issue come up. It might have been prior to Chief Blink's taking over, but that's something we can also look at, that code if we go to change it to make it so that if your dog is out, then you can just get the citation.
Whether it's registered or not.
Correct. And then the other thing too is if the dog's registered, if they don't have that, the little chain thing, which I don't know if many dogs do, hopefully they would have a phone number either and or instead of that. But if they don't have that, don't have the phone number, their dog could be registered and we're not gonna know who it is belongs to anyway because they don't have that. They don't have that chain thing or the tag, so.
So when the dog gets, catch a dog, you know, take it up to the Humane Society and wherever it goes, who gets that bill?
If the residents claim it, the resident does. Otherwise, they have their processes and then we would get the bill and then they would go through their process of.
Generally, if we catch a loose dog, we take it down to our shelter, and for them to get it out is $25. At that point is when we usually figure out if they have a registration or not. Go get the registration if you don't have it. They have to show proof of vaccinations and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think the registration of the dog was just a way to prove that the vaccinations are up to date. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, if the state code is already requiring that, then, you know, I don't know.
What does the city of Mount Vernon do? Do they register? Do they still require dogs to be registered?
Yeah.
And theirs is, was it $10 a year?
Yeah, $10 every year.
What's the compliance over there saying?
Same issues.
Give us a little time to think about it.
Okay. I'm sorry?
Anything else?
Oh, I'm good.
Any questions, Brandon? Christina?
Just working on the budget, and next week I will be attending the local leaders day up at the Capitol. If anybody wants to go, come on up. I'll be there.
I don't have anything other than just congratulations and thank you to the new firefighters that are joining the team. And thanks to the city for clearing the bad weather last week. That's it.
John?
Same thing. Thank you to the new fire volunteers. We're very fortunate to have plenty of volunteers in that area. Not every community is so fortunate. That's all I have.
Kevin? Kevin? I want to thank the guys for getting us a little bit of snow that we got Friday morning. At least it didn't happen on the weekend. And I just want to thank the fire department. No, last Wednesday, was it? I think it was pretty busy last Wednesday. Pretty much a thankless job sometimes, but I appreciate it. We got anything else? Community adjourned. Sorry. Put these here.